Good evening and welcome to another edition of Jayhawk Sports Report. I'm Josh Kurlak alongside my co-host Nick Price.
Yeah, we have a great show for you tonight after a big week in sports here at the University of Kansas. But first, let's start with football, Josh.
All right, the Jayhawks put an enormous scare into fourth-ranked TCU on Saturday, but the Horned Frogs were able to take a deep sigh of relief when the clock hit triple zeros. To the highlights we go. Senior day at KU. Ben Heaney embracing Clint Bowen before the game, the final time that Ben Heaney would take the field at Memorial Stadium. First half, TCU off to a good start as they get on the board here early with a Ty Slanina 27-yard touchdown catch and run. Later, botch snap here, interesting play as TJ Millward finds Trent Smiley. That'd be a first down, and the drive would end later with a 2-yard touchdown run from Corey Avery. Jayhawks respond nicely. Then, scores now 13-7. Ja'Cory Shepard on the interception here. He takes it to the house. Jayhawks think they're up 20-7, but the play would be called back for 12 men on the field defensively for the Jayhawks, though. That wouldn't bother them, though, as Michael Cummings finds Nigel King. Ball's tipped 3 times, manages to hang on, and then outruns the entire TCU defense for a touchdown. Kansas is up 27-17 in the second half, but things would quickly go south here as Trevor Pardula booms this punt downfield, but he just outkicked his coverage. None of the TCU defender, or rather KU defenders, can get down there to make the tackle. This punt is taken all the way back for a touchdown. TCU takes the lead 31-27. Jayhawks, though, would have some chances here late in the fourth quarter as a run by TCU just refusing to go down. Fumble, balls out, recovered by Tadarian Johnson. Kansas would only get a field goal out of that field position, and then Ty Boykin wraps things up with a run that seals the game on 4th and 1 late in the fourth quarter. KU falls short 34-30 and drops to 1-6 in Big 12 play. Clint Bowen was proud of his team and the effort of his players, especially Jayhawk Mundine, who had 7 catches for 137 yards and a touchdown.
Our players, and I can't give them enough credit, they've, through this whole entire time, remained extremely positive, upbeat. They show up and work every day. It is the culture down there and what those guys are doing together and what they bring on a daily basis. It really is. You got to give all the credit to those guys because they've been through so much.
I didn't want to get tackled tonight, and I seen a couple times where, I felt like the game really slowed down even more for me today. Like, it's been slowed down a lot this season because I've been doing more, but I feel like today it just, I don't know, it slowed down a lot. I kind of always pride myself in not letting the first guy tackle me.
KU and Jayhawk Mundine are back in action this Saturday. The Jayhawks will travel to Norman to take on Oklahoma. Set your alarms, Kansas fans. Kickoff is scheduled for 11 a.m.
And it's the most wonderful time of the year, Jayhawk fans. Kansas men's basketball is back. The Hawks look to start off strong in their season opener against UC Santa Barbara on Friday. To the highlights we go. Fans were back and absolutely crazy Friday night in the Fieldhouse. First half, wow, boy, did Devontae Graham have himself a game. He knocks down this jumper from the top of the key, increases Kansas' lead 21-15. Now closing seconds of the first half, Graham on the drive, floater no good. He'll grab his own board, puts it back. He had 14 points on the game. Jayhawks lead 31-23 at the half. Second half now, and we're going to see the Ukrainian Svi driving to the bucket, finds the big fella Cliff Alexander for the two-handed jam. KU goes up 52-41, and then with 5 minutes to go, just when Santa Barbara thought they had a chance in this game, Perry Ellis puts them away with some nice work down low on the block. Jayhawks go up 12 on that one, go on to win by a final score of 69-59. The Hawks are now 1-0 heading into tomorrow's clash with number 1 Kentucky.
All right, and more on that matchup. Like most years, the Jayhawks don't have the luxury of easing into the season. Kansas is set to take on Kentucky, as Nick said, Tuesday evening in Indianapolis. Self and his players know they have to play well to win, but they're embracing the challenge.
If you can just, take care of the ball and eliminate transitions, eliminate second shots, don't give up dunks, things like that, you got a chance to probably play decent, but that's a pretty tall task.
The young guys are real excited. Old guys are real excited. You got the nerves, but the nerves, they're gonna go away as soon as the game starts.
All right, tip-off for that one is set for 8 p.m. tomorrow evening. Michigan State and Duke will play in the first game of the Champions Classic.
KU women's basketball team started its regular season Sunday in a game against the South Dakota Coyotes. With 4 returning starters for the Jayhawks, they're going to be one of the more experienced teams in the Big 12, but we're projected to finish 8th in the conference preseason poll. KU senior Natalie Knight had 5 steals in 39 minutes of play, scored 15 points in this close game. Meanwhile, South Dakota's senior Nicole Seecamp dropped 21 points for the Coyotes, but the afternoon belonged to Chelsea Gardner, who joined the 1,000-point club on a play that tied up the game for the Jayhawks with, now the highlight's not working there, but Chelsea Gardner was the 27th women's basketball player to reach that milestone and the 10th with coach Bonnie Hendrickson.
It means a lot, but more importantly, it means a lot to win too, so we just need to keep winning.
And that's a credit to her work and a credit to Katie O'Connor, who works with our bigs and position work. So she deserves that credit, and she would tell you her teammates deserve it because they're the ones got to throw it to her.
The final score was 68-60 with the Jayhawks taking the victory. Next up for the Hawks is Texas Southern this Tuesday at 7 p.m. in Allen Fieldhouse. Jayhawks will need to prepare to take on Southern senior Jasmine Parker, who scored 34 points on the Jayhawks when the teams faced off last December. And we saw a dominant performance from the volleyball team in the Sunflower Showdown in Manhattan last week. We'll break down that game when we come back.
And in soccer, Missouri's offensive attack proved to be too much to handle for the Jayhawks. The Tigers were able to do something that no other KU opponent had done all season. Find out what next. Stay with us.
Well, you're wrong.
I'm wrong. You're the one who misrepresented the facts.
Represent the facts? Are you kidding? Your proposal is ridiculous.
You have no right to call
You
anyone
are the
everyone.
worst example of
I
politics.
stand for
You
something.
flip-flop.
I stand for something.
Flip-flopper, flip-flopper.
Your proposal is ludicrous.
My
It's
proposal will go
ludicrous.
exactly the way I say it
Over
will.
my dead body.
I think somebody needs a timeout.
That's the power of one.
I motion that I be issued the timeout, and
Wow. Me too.
yeah, for sure, you should get a timeout.
I apologize.
And I motion that I start showing more respect.
Civility. Pass it on.
And welcome back. Moving on to soccer, the border rivalry between Kansas and Missouri came and went on Sunday afternoon at Rock Chalk Park, and the Tigers were just too much for KU. As we go to the highlights, a frigid day at Rock Chalk Park, Kansas' first tournament appearance since 2011. Early on, first 5 minutes of the game, here's a goal by Missouri's Taylor Grant. Tigers up early 1-0. Kansas would try to respond, though, after the teams traded goals. Jamie Fletcher's shot is pushed wide, and then the rebound attempt goes wide as well. Kansas fans appreciate the effort, but Tigers just too much as they tack on another goal late in the game to win it by a final score of 3-1. Head coach Mark Francis was discouraged by the loss, but he said he wants to use this game as a program-building experience. The Jayhawks will lose 6 seniors from this year's team, but the first-team Big 12 selection, Liana Salazar, has 1 more year left in red and blue.
Well, the Border Roar didn't go as planned for the soccer team, but the volleyball team was looking to take the Sunflower Showdown this week when they took on number 23 Kansas State. And the Hawks not only took this match, but dominated. Winning in straight sets, Kansas was led by Sarah McClinton, who had a team-high 18 kills and no errors on Wednesday. The win improves the Jayhawks to 19-7 overall, 7-5 in the conference, while Kansas State falls to 20-6 overall and is even with Kansas now at 7-5 in the conference.
All right, on to cross country. Colorado State transfer Jacob Morgan, now at KU, has had a nice season for the Jayhawks. He finished 7th overall at the all-region race this past weekend. Now he'll head to the NCAA champions as an at-large bid. Interesting setup to the competition. The Midwest region sends 5 at-large bids to the championships, and Morgan locked up the 5th and final bid with his performance on Saturday. The championships are in Terre Haute, Indiana, and they're set to begin at 12 p.m. this Saturday. Good luck to Morgan.
Now let's take a look at the week ahead here at the University of Kansas. The women's basketball team is going to have a busy weekend as they host 3 home games this week. The first will be tomorrow when the Lady Jayhawks take on Texas Southern. Tip for that one is slated for 7 o'clock. Second game of the week is against the Crimson Tide. Alabama is coming here on Friday night. Tip for that one is 6 o'clock. And to round out your weekend, The Hawks will play host to the Temple Owls on Saturday at 4 o'clock. All of these games can be seen online at ESPN3.com.
On Wednesday, the volleyball team welcomes Iowa State to Horse Family Athletic Center for a midweek matchup. Kansas currently sits in 4th place in the Big 12, and the Cyclones won the first matchup between these teams. Then a little tougher task for the Jayhawks. They'll travel to Texas for a battle with the Longhorns. Texas sits atop the conference at 12-1.
And the Jayhawks will hit the pool Friday through Sunday to partake in the Kansas Classic held in Topeka. Festivities for that one will begin at 10 o'clock each day.
All right, when we come back, the Chiefs out-toughed one of the toughest teams in football. Highlights of that game coming up next. Stay with us.
Well, you're wrong.
I'm wrong. You're the one who misrepresented
I
the facts.
misrepresent the facts. Are you kidding? Your proposal is ridiculous.
You have no right to call
You
anyone
are the
ridiculous.
worst example of
Nick, I
politics.
stand for
You
something.
flip-flop.
I stand for something.
Flip-flopper, flip-flopper.
Your proposal is ludicrous.
My
It's
proposal will
ludicrous.
go exactly
It's
the way I say it
over
will.
my dead body.
I think somebody needs a timeout.
That's the power of one.
I motion that I be issued the timeout, and
Wow, me too.
yeah, for sure, you should get a timeout.
I apologize.
And I motion that I start showing more respect.
Civility. Pass it on.
Welcome back. Moving from college to the pro level now. The Chiefs have won 4 straight games and played host to the defending Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks on Sunday. To the highlights we go here. Andy Reid looking to extend his team's winning streak to 5 games. Going to go to the first quarter. Alex Smith running the option play. Pitches to Charles. Turns on the Jets and just gets inside the pylon for the score.
Yeah, anytime you can get Jamal Charles, that's a good thing. And Andy Reid and his offensive staff coming up with some creative opportunities for Jamal.
Now the Seahawks would answer, however, as here we have Russell Wilson, 3rd and goal, rolling out right, going to show off his big arm as he fires it into Doug Baldwin for the score, tying the game up. Watch the celebration, a little sharpshooter.
Oh, I believe that's a Chiefs celebration as well. We'll see more of that coming up later.
Yeah, very next drive, play action pass, and Alex Smith is going to find his tight end, Travis Kelce, first down and more. And then watch Travis Kelce when he gets up here.
Yeah, all right, here we go. There's the original celebration, and then you get Baldwin on the side. I give the nod to Kelce there.
I'll take Kelce every time. Now, Jamal Charles later on the same drive, showing why he's a bad man. Running up the middle, 20-yard touchdown, his second of the day, Josh.
Yeah, good offensive blocking downfield by the receivers and in the offensive line as well, too.
Seahawks tacked on a field goal, 14-13 at the half. Here's Russell Wilson in the second half, finding Tony Moeaki in the corner.
And it always hurts when a former Chief comes back into Arrowhead Stadium and does something like that. Chiefs can't be happy with that result.
20-17, but the rushing attack was too much for the Seahawks. Niall Davis punches it in, gives the Chiefs a 24-20 lead late in the game.
Yeah, if you're the Seahawks, you think you've stopped the Chiefs because no Jamal Charles, but Niall Davis comes in and runs it in for 6.
Yeah, Pete Carroll's team backed into a corner, tough spot, 4th and 19, the final chance for the Seahawks. And Wilson's pass is going to fall incomplete, and the Chiefs will go on to win it by a final score of 24-20. They've now won 4 games in a row, moving them into a first-place tie with Denver in the AFC West. Chiefs won't have long to celebrate, however, as they will head to Oakland to take on the struggling Raiders team on Thursday Night Football this week. The Raiders have not won a home game since October 27th of 2013 when they beat Pittsburgh. Meanwhile, the Chiefs have won 5 straight games and took both of their meetings with Oakland last year. This game will surely come down to who runs the ball more effectively, and the Chiefs hold an overwhelming advantage in that aspect as they currently rank 4th in the NFL in rushing yards per game, while the Raiders are dead last in the league. Kickoff for that one, Josh, is set for 7:25. It can be seen on CBS or NFL Network.
Yeah, a game on Thursday Night Football, so short week for both teams. It'll be interesting to see how the players recover.
Yeah, and if the Chiefs can go in there and pick up a win, they'll be 8-3 going into Sunday Night Football right after Thanksgiving against the Broncos.
All right, couple of big games coming up. Well, Jayhawk fans, that's all the time we have for this edition of Jayhawk Sports Report. As always, follow Nick and I on Twitter for all of the latest news and updates surrounding Kansas athletics.
Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back next week, same time, same place, with more of the KU sports you know and love. Good night, Lawrence. We'll see you next time.